Hi everyone, it's Samantha here from Autumn Rabbit Crafts. Welcome to podcast number 3. You join me from my nesting chair, which is downstairs, because I have a flare up and it hurts and it's easy to sit in the chair today. So, just so you know where I can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest and Ravelry, but I'm Autumn Rabbit Craft on Ravelry because they wouldn't let me have the extra letter, so I had to dump the S. So if you're looking for me on there, it's Autumn Rabbit Craft. Anything I talk about today I will put in the description box underneath, any links or YouTubers or anywhere I get anything from, because I've got a little bit of haul to show you, although I forgot most of it. So yeah, to all those who have been with me for a while on my channel, welcome back. To all those who have found me who are new, thank you, and I have a few new subscribers, so hello to them. And if you do like what you see and you want to, because this is part 1, this is a part 1 video, I decided to split this one up into 2, maybe 3, because I've got quite a few whips to show. I made a promise that this time I would show my cross stitch whips, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to start in start with 3 to start off with. I'll try and remember where I got the fabric from, and I remember I got the Flosses from. But if you are new and you want to see part 2, then please hit the subscribe button and also the bell, so you'll know that when I'm uploading my next video. So grab yourself a brew and let's have a chat. So today is Thursday the 22nd of September. It's been an odd couple of weeks, and hopefully it's going to start calming down now. Unfortunately I've been really ill, and I did try to make a video last week. However, when you have a raging cold, it's not easy to make one because all you do is cough and sneeze through the video, which is why I abandoned my attempts last week. So what have I, first of all, I think I might actually show you what I've been working on first of all. Obviously the Queen died a couple of weeks ago. It was her funeral on Monday, and for the Jubilee I had done a cross stitch. I actually finished this on the day of the actual Jubilee. It took me about 2 weeks because I was working on something else at the same time as well. But as I had stitched this, I figured that I should mark the passing of the Queen with something that I had got from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. It's a free download if you go on the website, and they've got some absolutely gorgeous samplers and things that I've got my eye on. Whether I can stitch them, I don't know, but this one, it's called God Save the Queen by Sandra Moffat. She designed this. It came out on the Sunday, I believe, which was the day before the funeral. So this is the counted pattern, and here's what I've been stitching. I've gone a little bit wrong here and there, but doing it when you're tired's probably not the best time to stitch, really. So I've really only just started the top, and I've got the first few letters in. So that's what I've mainly been working on the last few days. I actually started it on Monday, and hopefully I should maybe get that finished probably by next week. I'm not the fastest of stitchers, so we'll see. Yeah, so I want to start off with, shove that down there, my whips. So I'm going to start off with a gift. I'm making this one as a gift for someone, and excuse me, I can't say too much because if she actually sees the video then she's going to know who it is and who I'm making it for. So this one was a pattern I got from the Sub Rosa Designs on Etsy. It's absolutely gorgeous, and there's the picture of it, and as it says for my friend. and I got the fabric from possibly Amazon. It might have been Blue Buttons actually. I can't quite remember because I didn't write it down and it was quite a while ago, and I've had it in my stash for quite a while. But I did start it and then didn't like it, and because I've done this one 2/1, which is what I normally do, although the flowers I've had to change to 1/1 because 2/1 was too thick and it wasn't really working. So that's how far I've got so far. I think I've actually not far off finished it, but because the heat set in, I gave up because it was just too hot. And also my gorgeous needle minder from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I love their stitch minders because they're really strong. And I've got 2 altogether, and I bought my little girl one as well, and that was a Caterpillar because she undernard and said I want the Caterpillar, so I bought the Caterpillar. I might borrow it from her because I'm in need of another stitch marker. These, what I tend to do is with the floss drops, I tend to either make them, or if I don't have the time or I don't really fancy making them, or I see something pretty, I'll buy them. But these ones I've actually made, and the image is just stickers I got from Hobbycraft. It was a sheet of kind of vintage birds and flowers, and as it's a floral kind of cross stitch, I thought I'd put them on this because I thought it'd be quite fitting. But these are the colours. These are the DMC called for. Not really coming up brilliantly with the computer because I'm actually on my laptop today rather than my camera, which makes a nice change. But these colours are beautiful. They're very kind of vintagey looking. And yeah, so there's the DMCs for that. I don't think there's too much left to stitch on it, to be honest. Excuse me. These I got from Amazon. I got A4 ones and excuse me, A3. I can't remember how much they were, but if I can find the link to them, I'll put in the description box. So that's the first one. So that one is the Sub Rosa Designs on Etsy. She's got some absolutely gorgeous patterns to cross stitch, and I've got quite a few in my pattern stash. So on to number 2, which was another gift. I started it 3 days before Father's Day, so this one's for my dad. And because I was working on my husband's and also helping my daughter make hers, I didn't really get this one finished. This one is Oh the Miles. It's by Good Flora Stitchwort, which I think is a fantastic name. I've mentioned her before. I mentioned her in my first video, so there will be a link in that video, but I'll also put a link in this video as well. And this fabric is from Amazon, I'm pretty sure. I got quite a bit of the dog done, and again this is the code for DMC. I got all the DMCs from Lakeside Needlecrafts, who are based in Cheshire. But I'm pretty sure I got this one. This is the first one. I'm pretty sure is 18 count Zweigert in white. This one I originally bought for my friend, and this is, I think it's either 14 or 16 count Ada maybe. And again, I've got the code for DMCs. I just kind of put washi tape on labels and made floss drops out of them. So there's the flosses that go with it, all called for. and I love this because I like block colours. I'm not a great fan of constant change colours because it can be quite not difficult but a bit annoying. But saying that, the third one is quite a few colour changes, but it's worth it. But this one is, like I said, from Good Flora Stitch Wart on Etsy. And again, this is one of 2 patterns I have of hers. I absolutely love her patterns as well. I've got one, I forgot what it's called, but it's a Scottish sampler style, and I don't know where I've put the print out, but they're all PDFs, so they're all instant downloads, and they've just been absolutely fantastic to deal with as well. So I can highly recommend definitely those 2. They're my go-to on Etsy, as well as Little Stitcher as well. I absolutely love hers as well. And then I've got Dear Daughter, which, as this name suggests, it's for my daughter. I was going to do this for her birthday, but like I said, the heat set in and I couldn't manage it. But hopefully now it's cooler because it's autumn now. I should be able to get back to stitching it. This one's by Blackbird Designs, and it's got all the DMCs listed, and it's a counted cross stitch pattern. And again, I'm using all the called for stitch flosses. Stay. It's not staying. Okay, right. Here's what I've done so far, and also I've got my favourite stitch marker on this. Again, from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I find that theirs are just the best quality. Absolutely fantastic quality, and they're very strong, like I said. And it says, I don't know if you can see that, it says, "Hello, pumpkin." But I got the word "Dear Daughter of Mine" done, and these are just gorgeous. This again is 2/2. I tend to always stitch 2/2. No, 2/1 even. And this one is a fabric. This is what I got from Etsy. I don't know the colour. I think it's oatmeal. It looks like oatmeal. I quite like these types of old looking Zwiggerts, and I tend to stitch on Zwiggert or Ada, or they're the same, I have no idea. So this is the first part of my whips, and I can't wait to start stitching on these again once I've finished the one for the Queen, which I don't think is going to take too long. I really don't. I can get back to these and they'll be Christmas presents then, because it'll be Christmas when I finish them. I've also got my autumn, October, Halloweeny stitches, which I will share in the next video. But again, I made the floss drops for these. I just found a random, this is a really pretty image. I forgot who made these. I forgot the name of the designer. If I can remember, I will link underneath. But again, called for DMCs, and these are just literally luggage tags that I bought from, I think it was the Range. I got a pack of 2 packs of, I think it was 25, and they're like £2 each. And I just used my hole punches that I got off Amazon to make the holes, and I did the 2 so that I could put mainly the main part of the floss through, and then obviously when you're left with the little bits, so it doesn't get all tangled, I made smaller holes as well. But that is again all the called for, and these, I love the colours of these, absolutely beautiful. I also have a bit of a stash of flosses, but they never seem to match the projects that I have, but they are pretty. And I tend to, in case you're wondering, I tend to stitch in a hoop. This is a plastic one. It came with a kit my friend got me for Christmas. I think it was Christmas. But I like wooden ones as well, so I need to get some more anyway. Which leads me to, I'd like to make some project bags, because I've been looking around, and when things are a bit expensive, you kind of want them but you can't buy them. I find that at the moment I can't seem to find any really, I mean, I know why they're expensive because they're handmade and they're absolutely gorgeous, but I might have a go at making my own at some point, and because I have quite a few whips that I need to keep safe. But the plastic folder things, like I said, I got from Amazon, and they've been fantastic. I've had a couple of accidental spills and it's protected them from that. So that's quite lucky that they've been in that. I've been carrying on with my knitting, kind of, because obviously last week I was way too ill to do anything and I was not in the mood, but I have been carrying on with, I did cast on. The book that I shared was my favourite books, the last video, Knit Yourself Calm. I have actually started the bear. I went through, it was stupid o'clock in the morning and I was really ill and I was in a load of pain. Decided to knit and I've started the bear. So there's the legs, and I just need to do the body, the head and the arms, which I don't think will take too long, but I kind of keep forgetting I've got it because it's on my smallest stitch, my smallest needles, which are Knit Pro Symphony fixed circular needles. They're 4 mil and they're one of the smallest ones. I got them for another project, but I never kind of started it, and I realised I couldn't figure out the directions. So this is the one I'm doing for my daughter, the winter shawl. I need to get some red. I really need to get some red Bergeret de France, and I want to try and do Intasha hearts in red, and then I can get this done for Christmas then, and I can give it to her for Christmas. It's quite big now because I just keep knitting it, and I'm having lots of fun knitting this. But it has grown quite a lot, as you can see, and it's really soft and it's going to be really, really warm. And I'm still working on the Lord of the Rings one, but I forgot where I've put my pouch. I think it's upstairs. But I'm nearly finished on my second, maybe third ball of wool. I have another one in here, and in my stash I'm pretty sure I've got one more ball, and I may need to go and see if I can get some more of it. I'm not sure if I can or not, because I got this when it was all on sale. When we were in lockdown, there was a big sale on at Blue Buttons, and I bought a load of grey and a load of orange because I had an idea in mind for an autumn Halloween cardigan, if I could find the right pattern for it, and they just sat in a bag protected from everything really. And I think I may need to get some more of those particular colours, especially the grey. I think I'm going to need some more grey. And so that brings me on to what I made. If I can remember where I've put it, excuse me. I made a project bag, a knitting bag. It's rustic. I'm calling it rustic. Oh! Talking of my Lord of the Rings shawl, I found it. When my daughter was really ill, we had to take her to A&E. I took my knitting with me. We were sitting there for quite a while. So I took my Lord of the Rings shawl with me, and I got quite a bit done, and actually since last week as well I've done quite a bit on it as well. This is where I got to, and then this is how much I've knitted. It's a slow going one because obviously it's such a small, it's such a thin wool, and I've gone a bit wrong here, and you can't really tell, but I can because it's going to bug me. So I'm going to possibly get a piece of fabric or knit something to go over this to patch it up, I'm not too sure yet, but it's going to annoy me if I don't do anything with it. But I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I got the project bag when I went to the Festival of Quilts. I think I did, because I can't remember the date. I think it was 2018 or 1918. I'm not sure. I still can't remember. And this was a Joe Hill original piece, which I absolutely love. But my winter shawl definitely would not fit in this. It'll fit in this one, but not this one. So this was just fabric I'd bought for a blouse from a box of unfinished projects. Mostly I've lost the patterns for, so I have no idea, but I'm going to do a blind sew. There's a dress that I want to finish, and I'm pretty sure I cut out all the pieces and it just needs sewing together. So I might do a blind sew and see how it goes. But we'll see. But this is my bee project bag. It's got a pocket on the front, which it could have done being a bit deeper. I did it mainly just to kind of practice my top stitching and things. And it's, you just pull that and it closes it. And there's a dozen things wrong with it that I definitely do differently, but I quite like it and it works. That's the main thing. And it's in a pretty blue colour, and it's got bees, and I like bees. So that's what I made. And I was feeling slightly better last week, even though I was still feeling kind of ill. That's what I made. And also I've got a knitting sock bag ready to be sewn together, and I just haven't gotten round to doing that just yet. So on to my haul. Now I should share this one first. You can see this one. This one was, I bought a Stephen West shawl pattern. I was inspired by the Meaningful Stitcher, which I'll get to that project in a minute. But I bought some absolutely gorgeous fingering weight wool, and I got 3 skeins of it. And it's called, this one's called Legend. It's a Malabrigo, and it's from the Makita range. It's a superwash merino wool, so it's 100% superwash merino. And I was talking to my friend Claire, and I was like, now I've got to wind all this wool, and there's quite a lot of it. It's 420 yards in a 100-gram ball yarn skein. Sorry. But yeah, so there is quite a lot here. And so she said, you need an umbrella. So I went on Amazon because I desperately needed to wind the wool, start winding it, but then I came down with something icky. But I did manage to wind one. So I got this one and the ball winder, which I haven't got with me. It's okay, but I'm going to invest in a better one. I've seen some better ones, but they cost a bit more. So this one is the Umbrella Swift, and yeah, it worked really, really well, and I had a lot of fun. My little girl even had a go at winding with it. Which I will get to that now, because I can show you the cake I made. I just love the fact they're called cakes. It's wool and it's called cake. So I wound 2 because it kept getting caught because I kept taking my attention. My attention was diverted a little bit. But that's the main cake, and then I have a little diddy one because it just got too caught round it, and it was literally I had to cut it and then make a little one. So that's what I need to do with the rest of them, all 2 skeins of them, which brings me to my next bit of haul, which is I got this from Bertie and Poppet. on Etsy. It's a DP and Cozy, and it's quite thick actually. It's lovely. It's got 4 poppers, so it's going to keep my circular needles even more secure. And it's beautifully lined. And this shop, yeah, it's Bertie and Poppet. They're on Etsy, and Jana from the Finnish Knitting Stories is always talking about them. She absolutely loves their project bags, and I've got my eyes on a couple of them, and they are absolutely gorgeous, and I will be purchasing them when I'm able to. They did send a little card with little stitch markers, and I've misplaced the card. It's in the house somewhere. I've no doubt put it somewhere safe, but I'm not quite sure where, so I need to find it. But that's, yeah, so that's what I bought from Etsy. That was to go with this, which was the project to do with Stephen West, which I'll get to in a minute. But I also bought stitch markers as well from Shay Makes, and I bought them, and you can figure out why, because obviously my channel name is Autumn Rabbit Crafts, and I don't know if you can see them. So you've got an acorn, an oak leaf, a hedgehog, a tree, and a little squirrel. How cute is that squirrel? So yeah, I got them because they're autumn themed. I might get some more of these. They're absolutely gorgeous. And they weren't that expensive either. They're $5.95 for a set of 5. And I can't remember, the postage wasn't too much, but they come in a little organza bag. But yes, the Stephen West shawl. I've already launched this on Instagram, but I'm doing a giveaway, mainly because I tried to figure out the pattern, and I'm really dyslexic, and I just cannot figure out the directions of how to knit it. Even though it says it's for a beginner, I cannot work it out. So I bought the Pagona shawl. I got it from his website. You can get it from his website or Ravelry, of which I'm on, as you know. However, I can't figure out the directions to knit this. So I've decided to do a giveaway, and you can enter on here on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook, on my Autumn Rabbit Crafts pages. All you need to do is, with Facebook, you need to like my page and comment. I've not put the thing up yet, but when I do, all you have to do is literally comment the word shawl in your comment, or just comment shawl. And on Instagram, you need to follow me and comment again the word shawl. And can I do it anywhere else? Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So yeah, you just literally have to like or follow my page or channel and put the word shawl in. And on October the 31st, because I'll leave it open till then, I will pull the name of one lucky person. And I've got the PDF, and I'm just guessing that I can just email the PDF link. I'm not sure if I can, but I'll try. But even if not, this has been printed out. It's a bit dogged, I have to admit, but I will put it in something to keep it really safe, and I should be able to reprint it if I need to. I just need to get some more ink for my printer. But yes, it's a giveaway for the Pagona shawl, just the shawl pattern. It's a lovely shawl. It's absolutely gorgeous, but I can't figure out how to knit it, and I didn't want to just delete the link, the PDF link, and I didn't just want to put that in for recycling. So I figured there's bound to be someone who really likes Stephen West shawls, and would really like to knit one of them. as I said, it's down as a beginner one, but I can't figure it out, so I decided to pass it on. So if you're one of the lucky winners, your name will be drawn on October the 31st, or maybe the next date, depends when I can make the video. But it will be drawn on the 31st of October. So yeah. Oh, also one more bit of haul, and it's on my knee, and I need to shift it. So I got this book. This is my third copy of this book. I originally bought it many years ago from a bookshop called Borders in Stockport. It was in the Mersey shopping centre, and I spent hours and hours and hours in Borders because they had a cafe and their cups of tea were fantastic. And it was also next door to Hobbycraft, which could have been why I spent quite a bit of time there and quite a bit of money. But this is my third copy because I then bought, after I think I gave it away, or I sent it to Oxfam Books or something, or the charity shop. I then, when I was pregnant with my little girl, bought the book, but I never got around to knitting anything because I was ill after I was very ill and I was really tired, so I didn't get anything knitted. Because by the time I decided to knit anything, the biggest size was 4 to 5. So then I ended up getting rid of that one in a destash, and I bought it again. But I didn't pay a lot. I got it from Amazon in the second hand section, so it cost me like £2 altogether. I think the shop was probably World of Books on Amazon, but they do have their own website. So now that I have cancelled my Prime membership, because A, it's gone up, and B, I'm not really using it that much, World of Books having their own website and being pretty much cheaper than on Amazon, I figure that I can just get a few of the books I really want from there. But yes, it's called And So to Bed, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I showed my little girl some of the patterns, and she literally went, I want that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. I bought it mainly because I want to have a go at knitting this. It's a blanket. The wools that it calls for kind of aren't really around anymore, because this book is from, like, I'm not quite sure when it was printed. 2006 this particular copy is from. So some of the wools that are mentioned are discontinued, so you can't really get them as far. I've been looking online. I went on Wool Warehouse and a few others, and I've not been able to find the called for wools. So what I'm going to do is, I've got £10 worth of Hobbycraft vouchers left. So I figure that I'm going to take my book to Hobbycraft, possibly next week, and maybe get some of the wools that are kind of closest to this. I should be able to find some. It's wool and it's pretty translatable into other wools, so I'm going to try that. And also, funny enough, it's near a big antique centre called Pear Mill, which ties in nicely with who I've been watching, so that I'll explain in a minute. But this one, it's a gorgeous book, and she wants the doll, of course, and I want to knit the blanket, and there's even things like hot water bottle cover, which maybe I might knit for my friend who shouldn't have hot water bottles, because she seems to kind of yeah, she's not very lucky with them, bless her. And she wants, my little girl wants this one with the pink tutu, not the blue one, but the pink one. But yeah, so my list for her is getting really huge. But yeah, I'll see what I can do. But it's an absolutely beautiful book, and I bought it for a project that I need to do, which hopefully I can talk about in a little bit. So who have I been watching? I have been watching quite a lot of FlossTube and podcasts because I've been so ill. I got a viral infection from my little girl first off, and then my husband lovingly gave me his cold, so I was a bit poorly. I've been watching Knitting in the Dark, which is podcast hosted by Maria and Michael, their husband and wife. His knitting's fantastic. Hers is amazing too, but he's a really good knitter. They used to be known as Woolen Forest Knits on YouTube. That's how I first found them. So she's had a bit of a name change, and she's changed the name on all social media now, as far as I know. But yeah, she's into kind of the darker, more woodland gothic kind of knits. So her knits are fantastic. I may butcher, in fact I'm going to butcher this name, and I apologise now, but Kristin Lara, she's American, she's from New York, she lives in New York, and she creates her own knitting patterns, and she hand dyes her own yarns, and she's got a beautiful cat, and her knitting's amazing, and her colours aren't too far off my favourite colours as well. And I just wish I could knit as well as she can. She also quilts as well. But that's been a lot of fun watching her videos. I've watched quite a few in the last few days, mainly because I get lazy and my YouTube's on autoplay, so if she's in the recommended bit, it just automatically plays. So I've watched quite a few of her videos that way. And watching her has led me to Plies and Hellhounds. She's got two of the most gorgeous corgis ever, and she knits, and she also dyes her own yarns as well, and I think you can even order them to be delivered to the UK. And they're gorgeous, they're absolutely fantastic, they're really, really beautiful wools. So yeah, my favourite video of hers so far was when she went to Rhinebeck, which is, I've mentioned it before, I mentioned it in my last video. It's kind of like Yarndale, but in New York, because it's a state in New York, and people will knit a jumper. So there'll be dozens of people saying that they have a Rhinebeck sweater, and there's loads of sheepies, and they're so cute. And it's, yeah, from what I can gather, it's a bit like Skipton's Yarndale, or there is a wool fest type thing at some point somewhere in Yorkshire, and I can't remember the name of it, because I found it by accident when I was looking for. If I was looking for Yarndale, I put in the wrong name and it popped up. But yeah, these things happen. The museum stitcher as well. Again, she knits and cross stitches, and she quilts as well. And her latest video, there is this huge quilt behind her. It's absolutely gorgeous, and she's finished a cowl that she was knitting in lace, I think it is, and it's beautiful colour, and it's really amazing. Wish I could knit lace. I need to teach myself that. And Pumpkin Hollow quilts, she's getting to the end of Autumn at Hawkrun Hollow, which I've lost my bag, it's over there, but I'll show you the next one, because I should really show that in the autumn section. But I'm doing the same. I will be in the new year. That's my New Year stitch. Annie of the Proper Stitcher also has it, and there's another FlossTuber that I've found that also has it. I can't remember her name. Yes, Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts is nearly finished. She's got one box left. She kind of left the Halloween-y boxes off because she just wanted a pure autumn stitch, because she's got loads of Halloween stitches, so she wanted to do something that was just purely autumn. I've also been watching Nicola Parkman of Hands Across the Sea Samplers. That's how I found out about the drum that I'm currently stitching. I've never done a drum before, so this should be interesting. Muddy Boots Maker, she's got a new video out today, and it's beautiful is all I'll say. She went to Hanging Rock as well. She took a knitting with her, which I think is really cool. If you've ever seen the film Picnic at Hanging Rock, It's that hanging rock. And yeah, she's been doing a lot of sewing lately as well. And Arnolds Attic, she went to the Festival of Quilts, and she's got a new video out as well. Arnolds Attic I've been following for a good couple of years now, but the videos that she's produced from this year's Festival of Quilts have been fantastic. I went, like I said, 1 year, and it's one of those that you would enjoy a heck of a lot more if you got there earlier, if you had money, which I didn't. Well, I won the tickets, so I didn't want to waste the tickets, and I really wanted to go, so we went, but it was a bit of a nightmare. Not as bad as the first time or the last time we went to Birmingham, when we just got stuck in a 4.5 hour traffic jam, which was not fun. But yeah, I've also been watching Retro Claude. Her latest video, she's made a pair of make, do, mend socks using a 1940s knitting pattern. It was quite interesting to watch, actually. No idea how she was doing it because it was like a foreign language, but the socks that she created, they were really lovely. Evelyn Wood, she's Australian. She's great at giving advice on the best things to use for your sewing machine, and also really good ways to finish your garments and things like that. She's a retro sewer as well. She's got her own fashion type sewing label. She makes a lot of her own clothes, and she also has a website where you can sign up to learn how to sew. Rachel Maxey, who the latest video was fun. I loved it. It took me back to my childhood because I remember when I was a kid, there was a BBC series called The Borrowers, based on a book. They made a film with I think Celia Imrie might have been in it, and Jim Broadbent, I think. And she made a borrower's outfit, whilst in my opinion dressed like a borrower, which was fantastic. It kind of felt like I wanted to dress kind of like a cross between a hobbit and a borrower, which is what I'm hoping to do next year. Darling Dazzy, she's doing her autumnal chat videos, which I am in love with. She did one on her favourite books, of which I went and downloaded one on Audible pretty much straight away. It's a Ray Bradbury one called The Halloween Tree, which I'm going to start listening to in the next few weeks because I want to listen to it and finish it on Halloween. The Last Homely House, Kate has been doing some sewing and some stuff at home, and also she went to the Festival of Quilts as well, and she interviewed a few people. See, that's what needs to happen. Arnold's Attic and The Last Homely House need to get together at the Festival of Quilts next year. That would make an amazing video. And Kirsten and Jorg, they are absolutely lovely. They are a married couple. They're German. They're living in Cheshire. And the reason I mentioned Per Mill is because a friend of mine told me about it, and I told them about it, but I didn't realise they'd already actually knew about it and been. And then their new video is them at Per Mill in Stockport, which is right next to Hobbycraft apparently. Oh, well, I'll have to go and have a look. They've got Jones sewing machines, which I am really wanting. I'd love to get my hands on an original Jones sewing machine. They just so happen to have them at Per Mill. So it's kind of, it'll be a looking and not buying because they're expensive, obviously. But I'd love to go just because apparently they've got quite a lot of sewing antique stuff and chairs and all sorts of other stuff. So that's what I'm hoping to go and get a look at as well in the next few weeks. But I can highly recommend all of the people that I've just mentioned because all their videos are always fantastic, and I usually binge watch a lot of their videos. And I've been watching lately, I've been re-watching, I should say, the Great British Sewing Bee. I'm at series 4, I think. Matt Chappell was series 3, I'm at series 4. I did start at series, I have no idea, I think it was series 2. So I've been rewatching that, and the Garage Sale Mysteries on Prime, which they do tend to show them on Sky every now and then, and also Murdoch Mysteries, which it's very cheesy, but I like having it on in the background whilst I'm sewing or cross-stitching or knitting. And with listening, I've been listening to again the Make Good a Knitting podcast with Jessica and Karen, who record their podcasts from Lebanon in New Hampshire. I remembered. I've written it down. That's how I've remembered. And funny enough, the last video I mentioned how I don't swatch. They did a whole podcast on swatching. A whole podcast episode. Whether I'll change and start swatching, I don't know. I just find it really boring. I can't have it. It's really, really boring. So that brings me on to getting to the end of today's podcast. And what have I got planned and what are my ideas? Well, I've got a few. Oops, sorry. I'd like to go to the Knitting and Stitch show in Harrogate. It's in November. And Jen Hogg from Great British Sewing Bee, who now makes accessories and notions for sewers and knitters and crocheters, is going to be there. And I'm, funny enough, in need of some stitch markers, and she makes the most gorgeous stitch markers for knitters. So yeah, I'd have to go and get a couple of packs from Jen. I also follow Jen on Instagram, and I have perused her shop, and I have a little window shopping list of what I'm after. So yes, that's what I would like to do if I'm able to. I'd like to go to that. Like I said, it's in November. I'll find out the date and I'll put it somewhere over in the description box. Yeah, that's one thing that I've got a hopeful plan of maybe doing. I want to finish, obviously, Oath Miles for my friend and dear daughter. I need to get them finished. They'll be Christmas presents now, I'm pretty sure. I can probably get them done for Christmas. Start purchasing flosses for autumn at Hawkrun Hollow, because it calls for 61 DMC flosses. Yeah, it's going to take a while to get them all, so I'm going to do it slowly over the next few months, and then the idea is to get like 30 to start off with over the next few months, and then once I start stitching it, to start adding more to my collection for it. So I think I'm going to definitely be buying some floss drops for that one. Hinterland dress, I say it every time I make a video. I want to buy the Hinterland dress pattern. I'm going to get it from the Fold line because I can get it printed up, because the PDFs are great, but then you've got to stick them together yourself and it's a pain in the bum. So and also the Fold line don't charge a stupid amount for printing them out on A0 papers. I've got quite a lot of their patterns, or quite a lot of my patterns printed up by them, and they cost hardly anything. Some are extortionate, but they're quite cheap and they're fantastic quality as well. I also want to start in the new year purchasing some things off my wish list from Sew Me Something. They've got a dress pattern that I'm after, and a couple of skirt patterns as well, and they've got a whole set patterns of like jogging bottoms, t-shirts and all that stuff in one big pack, which is really good quality, which is really good price for the patterns. And like I said, maybe attending Harrogate. That would be quite nice. My friend's going on the Friday, but because of my little girl's at school, I'd rather not have to rush back to pick her up, so we'd be going on the Saturday. And what am I looking forward to? Possible haul? To start making my clothes in the new year, which is what I really, really have been wanting to do for the past nearly 8 years. But I need to save up, and I've never had the money, and I'm hoping to save up so I can do it. Also, I really want to knit the Wild Rabbit and the Peter Rabbit Dot Pebble knits patterns, because I think they're going to make fantastic Christmas presents. And also there's a Dumbo that she's got a pattern for, and I have a friend who happens to be a Disney nut. She is completely into Disney. I like Disney, I love the old Disney. So if she watches this, then she might know what she potentially might be getting one Christmas or for one of her birthdays. I don't think it would take a stupid amount of time, and it's like one ball of wool. And I absolutely adore Dumbo myself, so that's the idea anyway. So I'm hoping to be able to buy the wool for the rabbits. I'm hoping it's back in stock. I'm going to check with Wool Warehouse and Laughing Hens. I think Laughing Hens is just a little bit cheaper, but we'll see. Treat myself to some stitch markers by Jen Hogg, because they're really, really pretty, and there's like 2 different packs that I want. And also, as I've mentioned, I would really, 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 really like to purchase at least one project bag from Bertie and Poppet. And also, I've got some really gorgeous fabric. I like Jane Austen, and the fabric I really wanted I couldn't find anywhere. I originally saw it on Vintage Sewing Box, on her videos, Emma from Vintage Sewing Box, and I found these instead, and I got these off Etsy, and they didn't cost me a stupid amount either. I got 3 fat quarters. So there's this one with all the ladies in their pretty dresses, and then there's this gorgeous floral one, and my favourite is this one. It's the one with all the houses, and it's kind of Jane Austen inspired fabric. So what I want to make with these is a project bag. I just need to buy the wadding first and a zip. I think I might have a zip, but it's red. It would go better with this fabric, which I've had, I have no idea how many years, probably since 2016 maybe. And it's vintage movie monsters, and I got one piece from the Stitching and Knitting and Stitch show in Manchester when it was next to the Trafford Centre, and this is all I got. This wasn't cheap, but I had to get it, and I'm going to make something with this. I don't know what. I've never cut into it. And also I got this for my birthday. I bought this. This is a whole meter, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So that's what I'm looking forward to possibly making, and my possible haul. So anyway, I'm going to stop waffling now because I need a fresh cup of tea because mine's gone cold. And just wanted to say thanks for joining me, and if you enjoyed this video, especially if you're new and you want to see part 2 of my cross stitch whips, and also if I remember I will show you the quilt that I made for my mum, which my daughter now has, and also the quilt top I am currently making for my little girl, which will be hopefully finished for Christmas, she said. Basically it's about the size, half the size I want it to be, because I want her to be able to grow with it a little bit more, so I want to make it just that little bit bigger. And also the quilt top I've decided that I wanted to make for myself as well. So I will remember to show them next time. So if you want to see that, then please subscribe and hit the bell button. Thank you for being here with me till all this time, and I will see you in the next video. So yeah, that's about it really. I should really stop waffling. I will see you in the next video. Hopefully it won't be as long till the next one. I did, like I said, want to make it. I did try to make it last week, but I was ill. I was really, really ill last week. so hopefully it will be a week, maybe, we'll see. Remember, if you want to be with a chance to win the Stephen West shawl pattern, like, follow and comment. The comment, all I need is the word shawl somewhere in your answer or comment. And also, very quickly, if you are looking for something to help with cross stitching at night and you don't want a massive big lamp, my friend Claire told me about this. I'll find a link for it on Amazon, but it's awesome. It's very bright and it's fantastic for cross stitching at night, or if the light's not fantastic, because partly I'm old and I've got really rubbish eyes now. It says Specsavers, so I need just that little bit of extra help with my reading glasses when I'm wearing them when I'm cross stitching. So yeah, I can highly recommend this. So yeah, I'm good to go now. I will see you in the next video, and have a wonderful day, and stay safe, and happy crafting, happy knitting, happy sewing, and I look forward to sharing my next lot of whips, makes and whatever in the next video. So until the next time, have a great week, have a great weekend, and I'll see you all very soon. Thanks very much for sticking with me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. So bye everyone. Bye bye.